Okay, so she says, when I'm in a really loud environment and I try to focus on trying to chant in my head, I struggle to do that. What would you recommend for me?
To chant when she's not in a loud environment.
Oh, Dandavas Maharaj, Dandavas. Thank you, Devashis Prabhu. It's okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Can you turn on your image? No. Okay, there.
Yes, Maharaj. 1 second. Oh, yeah, I can do it. Very much, Maharaj. Thank you. Dandavad.
So, in answer to Nanga Manjari's question, she said when she's in a loud environment, it is hard for her to concentrate on chanting. And then one would have to find a way to chant in a loud environment if one was continually in a loud environment. So, I don't know what your home life is like, but, generally speaking, when you chant...
It's really loud, a lot.
It's very loud. Well, do you have a room? Ananga Manjari, do you have a room?
Yeah, but sometimes it gets invaded by my siblings.
Uh-huh. Well, what you can do is buy yourself some earplugs and put the earplugs in, and then you can chant in your mind. If you buy yourself some earplugs, that'll stop the outside sound. But then you can say, but then I won't be able to hear myself chanting. Well, you can also chant. One of the kinds of chanting you can do of japa is you can chant in your mind. So if you can't tolerate all the sound of siblings, etc., you can either put in some, foam ear plugs. You can find them anywhere. And then you can chant silently in your mind. I don't know if you can do that, but that may solve your problem. Otherwise, sometimes it's difficult. We can chant in our mind, we can chant softly, or we can chant loudly, like Haridas Thakur mentions. We can chant anyway. And even actually in a loud environment, if you can't leave the loud environment and you don't have earplugs, then you can just try to chant in your mind despite the loud environment. But if it's difficult to concentrate, then get yourself some foam earplugs and put them in your ears, and then chant. You want to chant japa, then chant japa.
Thank you.
I don't know, Devashis, does this advice sound practical?
Yeah, Maharaj, what else can you do? Bhaktivinoda Thakur talks about it a little bit, and he says, lock yourself in a room and put a towel over your head. That's one thing he recommends. So you can just concentrate on that and not be distracted. But it's very difficult, I know. I would say, if possible, the best thing to do is get up very early before everybody else and chant in the quiet of the morning.
That you can do as long as you're not going to sleep late.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Okay. All right. Well, the idea is to engage in, meditating on the sound of the holy name. Maybe you can go somewhere that's not got too many atheists in the park. Maybe go to a park that's not full of atheists and chant there. I'm being euphemistic when I speak about atheists in the park. I think we know what I'm referring to. Some of the parks are invaded by ants, many ants, and you can't really chant peacefully because sometimes those ants are, if they see you chanting, they'll try to bother you. You know what kind of ants I'm talking about, right?
I'm sure, Maharaj.
Huh? I'm talking about in some of the parks, there are certain individuals of other religiosity that want to disturb.
Yeah.
So avoid that. The parks are big. Maybe you can find a peaceful peace. Do you live near a park?
Yeah, 2 parks in my area.
Oh, maybe you can go there to chant. Are you in a council house? Just
No.
a house.
Private house.
Ah,
Private house.
okay. Do they have any yard? Do they have backyard or front yard? Of course, then you won't be. Then you'll still be bothered, perhaps, by siblings, if you're too close to the house. But these are brothers and sisters, younger than you. Aha. All right. Anyway, and what is our other question? There's Lavanya Mayi, but we can't see her.
Okay, so the other question by Anonymous is Guru Maharaj said that we are living in the midst of misconception and that the environment is perfect and favorable to our life, for our life, but how can we learn to see the environment as favorable?
Well, Guru Maharaj says that requires proper adjustment with the environment. So, just like there are many radio and television programs going through the air all the time, but we can't hear them. We can't tune into them because we haven't got the proper reception. I mean, if we turn on our television set, then we can see so many different programs that are going through the air all the time, right? Or if we turn on the radio, we can see that there's so many channels of the radio that are going on all the time. But why can't we hear those channels, or why can't we see those television channels normally when we're just walking around? Why can't we hear them or can't really see them? Because we haven't got a proper antenna, we haven't got a proper receptor. I mean, we haven't got proper reception. I'm talking figuratively about our own head, about our own body. We can't see or hear radio programs, we can't see or hear television programs because we haven't got the proper equipment, the proper reception in order to be able to tune these without a television set or without a radio. But we know those channels are going through the air all the time. So similarly, when Guru Maharaj talks about everything from the environment, we have to learn to see everything from the environment as favorable. Then, as you're mentioning, that requires some proper adjustment. And how do we get to that proper adjustment? Read again the final question after about everything is favorable. Then what's the last question of Anonymous's?
The environment is perfect and favorable for our life, but how can we learn to see the environment as favorable?
Well, as Guru Maharaj, as I'm saying, that requires proper adjustment. So what is the proper adjustment? The proper adjustment is through some ability to appreciate that behind everything is the will of the Lord, and to stop. For one thing is to stop blaming the environment for any obstacles or problems that we have. That will go a long way towards helping us to adjust to see the environment as favorable. Because normally, under the dictation of false ego, if there's anything that happens in our life that's very good, we want to take personal credit for that. Oh, how did you do this? Oh, just by my own hard work. I pulled myself up by the bootstraps. There's that expression. I pulled myself up by the bootstraps. Of course, we don't wear boots with straps anymore, but that you can understand. In old days, people pulled on their boots by straps, like little straps that were on the boots to pull them up. So they say, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps, because figuratively, when you're putting on boots, you're pulling them up. So they take credit for anything that's good. Oh, this is going very good. You're doing very well. Yes, I trained for years and I worked very hard to get to the position I'm in. Okay, very nice. But then you say, but recently you didn't have so much success. In fact, as a matter of fact, you had some failures. Oh, well, that's just due to bad luck. Just things didn't go my way. Normally when things are going well, I'll take personal credit for them. But if things go bad, then I won't take personal credit for them. I'll just say, oh, that was just due to, I was perfect in every way, but things just went wrong for me. They went south. They went to Australia for me. So there's a story that's I believe in ancient literatures which we've heard about, that I don't know if I've told this story, but one time this man, he had a very beautiful garden, and he had very beautiful flowers, and everything was arranged geometrically. He had nice trees with fruit trees, and everything, the property, all the landscaping, everything was perfect. They had fruit trees and vegetables and everything growing in the market. And he was, very proud of this. But one day, a cow came into his garden and began eating. And the man became so incensed that he killed the cow. You've heard this story? So he killed the cow. Then the man was to be punished for that he was to be punished by the agents of Yamaraj came to punish him for killing the cow. But the man said, no, I'm not at fault. Not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. Everything happens by the Lord's divine arrangement. Now, would you agree with that or not? Who would agree with that? You would agree with that. I'd agree with that.
Must be.
So then the agents of Yamaraj went back, told Yamaraj, and they said, well, when we went to punish him for killing the cow, then he argued with us. He told us that not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. So I didn't really kill the cow. Not a blade of grass moves without the Lord's will, so you cannot blame me. So the agents of Yamaraj went back and told him this is his argument. And Yamaraj says, yes, that's true, that not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the Lord. But And here's the but he is not of that realization. What he says is true, but he is not of that realization. So then Yamaraj came to the garden, and he came disguised as a small boy. And that boy went up to the man, owner of the property, and he said, "Oh, these are very beautiful flowers, very nice. Who has planted these flowers?" And the man said, "I did. I planted the flowers." "Oh, that's very wonderful. And these beautiful fruit trees, who's taking care of them?" "Oh, I planted them, I take care of them. It happened because of me." "All right, very good, very good." And like that, as a small boy, Yamaraj asking him, "What about this? These nice, so many nice places and benches and everything in the park. How has this come about?" "It is because of me. I did everything. Everything I planted, I did everything. You did everything." "Okay, very good." And then the boy said, "So you planted everything, you landscaped everything, you planned everything. Is that correct?" And the man said, "Yes, it's because of me everything is happening." Then that boy said, "Yes, and who killed the cow?" "Oh, this is true. Yes, and who killed the cow?" Because he was saying before, who planted the flowers, who planted the trees, who arranged the landscaping, who put all the benches and decorated the park. Me, everything is happening because of me." "Okay, very good. And who killed the cow?" So if he's taking credit for everything, then it's hard for him to continue and say, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. And then actually the Lord's responsible for killing the cow. No, you just said everything happened because of you. Then you're taking personal credit for everything everything that's going on in the garden. Then you must take personal credit for killing the cow. That's the idea. So, in answer to Anonymous's question, as long as we're under the dictations of false ego and we're taking credit for everything happens, or more likely, I should say, we're taking credit for everything good that happens in our life, and we're just negating anything we've done wrong. We just say, "Oh, it's bad luck," or "It was just the wrong time," or "Things went against me." It's like there's some kind of global conspiracy. Well, with that kind of mundane mentality, you can never see that everything is happening by the divine will of the Lord. If you're taking credit under the dictations of false ego for everything, how will you be able to get proper adjustment with the environment? Obviously, you're out of adjustment. Then how can so then tell me, how will I get proper adjustment? Well, that you will get if you are in association with the devotees and you hear from the param gurus like Srila Govinda Maharaj and Srila Guru Maharaj, etc. If you're able to hear from them and adjust your lives accordingly. Just like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he's giving us, in many songs, he's giving personal advice about how to change the mentality that you have now. Isn't that true? Many songs he's telling you how you can escape from the dictations of false ego. And what does the Bhagavad Gita actually say? What is the message of the Gita? Guru Maharaj said the message of the Gita is that you are not so much active in terms of changing the environment, but the environment comes to change you. That's one of the fundamental realizations that Arjuna has, that he cannot single-handedly change the environment. He's fighting, and let me get a glass of water. He's fighting in the Battle of Kurukshetra. Arjuna is fighting in the battle of Kurukshetra, and there's an ocean of, I mean, the side, the other side is immeasurably bigger than, well, we'll say almost double the size of Arjuna's army, right? How many phalanxes does Arjuna have? I forget. What is it? And the Kuru dynasty, the Kurus, they're called the Kurus, right?
Yeah.
Well, their side is much larger. So based on numerical size and force, you would think the other side is going to be victorious. And what can Arjuna do? He's vastly outnumbered. So in that sense, there is not so much that on his own that he can do to change the environment. Of course, he can fight, and then, as Krishna says, for a hero to have this war come upon one unsought is like opening up the doors of heaven for a hero, and also Krishna emphasizes how valiant it is to fight in such a war. But at the same time, Arjuna cannot control the environment. But the fundamental lesson of the Bhagavad Gita is that the environment will come to change us. Now, if we develop a little bit of perspective, we can see that. Or is there anyone here who's convinced that the environment, that they can control the environment? Anyone think they can control the environment? I mean, this is something you can see also in Bhagavad Gita, which modern people, persons of modern mentality, they haven't got it through their thick head yet. They're thinking that, there are so many things that you can't control. So what is it when you can't control something? When you see, what is the lesson to learn from Bhagavad Gita? When you see that there are things that are beyond your control, what would be a conclusion? That you have to tolerate.
Right.
There's no other way. You have to tolerate. You have to become, or as Govinda Maharaj is always saying, Trinada pisuni chena taroriva sahishnuna amanena manadena kirtanaya sadahari. When you can't control the environment, what can you do? Well, maybe one adaptation is to tolerate as best you can. Is it not true?
Yeah.
And then a further lesson beyond toleration is that the environment will come to change you. And that is what we are talking about. Developing some proper adjustment to see that the environment is always favorable. That requires that one actively be perspective, see things devotionally, and understand behind everything. Then one can begin to understand that behind everything is the will of the Lord. If one can go beyond even tolerance, if one can develop humility, offering respect to others, and tolerance, that's a good start. And then if one can further advance, one can actually see that the environment in and of itself is favorable, is positive. And there's many ways that, some people mundanely have some perception of that. They say things like, every silver lining has a cloud, right?
Or the other way around, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the other way around, but I wanted to see if you'd catch it. Every silver lining has a cloud. I mean,
that's probably true also, isn't it?
yeah. That one will see that even in the greatest of perplexities, in the greatest of problems, and in the greatest of controversies, right? How's that for British pronunciation? In the greatest controversies.
It's very good, Maharaj. There's hope for you yet.
Huh?
There's hope for you yet.
Ignorant American. Cannot even properly speak the King's English. Or in this case, the Queen's English, we would have to say. So, I mean, going beyond tolerance, we can develop a little perspective that, first of all, one perspective we can have is that I heard that when they took Prabhupada to see the Arc of Triumph, there's apparently an annotation there that says, France and Napoleon forever, right? So Prabhupada's remark is, France is here, but where's your Napoleon? You know. So somebody can say, well, he lives forever in the hearts of his countrymen. And I would say, oh, really? Is that so? Every Frenchman has Napoleon firmly what's the word, ensconced?
Yeah.
Firmly ensconced. Is that used correctly?
Yeah.
Every Frenchman has Napoleon firmly ensconced in his heart. I don't think so. I don't think modern Frenchmen, you know, if you ask them about Napoleon, the remark, if anything, even if they had some consciousness of him, who was it that commented when they asked him about the Pope? They said, oh, how many armies does he have? Do you remember that?
No, I don't know.
But you know that remark, right? Think it maybe was Hitler or something. I don't know. Talked about. In other words, that person that was being consulted about the Pope only saw it in terms of geopolitics, thinking the Pope is of no consequence because the Pope doesn't have any armies. England has armies. France has armies. Russia has armies. The United States has armies. So, but the Pope, do we really think, do people think in terms of the Vatican's Air Force or the Vatican's infantry? No, that people don't think in those terms. So someone, when they mentioned the Pope, they immediately dismissed it. Oh, the Pope, yes, he's a rather nice chap and all that, but you know. What was there? When David, what's his name? Chapalier. What's that? What's that one?
The comedian.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle.
Huh?
Dave Chappelle.
Chappelle, yes. Yes, he was enacting some play which was based on if it was during the time of, I guess, the war in Iraq or something like that. So it was a conversation between Black Bush, because he's telling history as if George Bush and Tony Blair were black men. And then he describes things humorously in terms of that. And he says, the Pope has said something this, and he says, "Oh, let me get this straight. How do don't have any army? You don't have any army? Then you have to shut something up." This remark. It's like talking about terms in political terms, which, that's the way people think. And so therefore they could say France and Napoleon forever, but then Prabhupada said, well, France is here, but where's your Napoleon? In other words, even if you are partially successful in controlling the environment, ultimately you will not be successful, because the environment will continue, things will go on in your absence. And why will you be absent? Because you'll be dead. That's why you'll be absent. So, in other words, if you want to see the environment as favorable, and in order to consider something beyond the impermanence of this world, you will have to see the environment as favorable. And you will have to actually consciously change your attitude in order to develop the mentality that the environment is always favorable. That will require some devotion. That will require some understanding. That will require the dismissal that I am this mundane world, and you'll have to go beyond the famous mantra in the Bhagavad Gita of the materialist or the demons, Ishvaroham aham bhogi siroham balavan sukhi. That's their mantra. Ishvaraham, I am the Lord. I'm the Lord of everything I survey. Ishvaroham, aham bhogi, I'm the supreme enjoyer. I'm the enjoyer, aham bhogi. Siroham. And Siroham means I'm perfect. I'm perfect in all respects. I don't make mistakes. I'm perfect. Siroham balavan, and I'm very strong. Sukhi, and therefore I'm always happy. And this person is my enemy, and soon he will be dead, or he or she will be dead. This person is my enemy, and soon they will be dead. And then I will be eternally happy. Well, I mean, in order to get to that proper adjustment with the environment, you will have to have some change in your attitude. And what is an example of someone who had a change in their attitude? How about Arjuna? He obviously had a change in his attitude from the beginning when he's listening to the first instructions of Krishna that are stated in the Bhagavad Gita. He has one attitude, and he adamantly says to Krishna, I will not fight. And he drops his bow and arrows and everything like that. So anyone viewing that, like setting the stage or in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, one may think that this is not going to go well for Arjuna. And Krishna says that. He's a warrior. How can he not fight? Right? Would a warrior like Arjuna have the option of not fighting, becoming what do they call it, a conscientious objector?
Unlikely.
It's unlikely. In those days, even when we consider the Middle Ages also of England, where it's not to be equated with India, but what would happen if somebody's a warrior and they said, I will not fight? And then opposition would say, "Oh, very well, we'll just kill you right now and not have. It's one less thing we have to worry about, right?
Yeah.
If you don't want to fight, that's okay. Then somebody will be very happy to kill you. It's not like you're going to survive with that pacifist attitude, at least then." Now you can develop some fame and everything by being very conscientious and refusing to join in anything. What's that person's name from Tunga? Where is she?
The spot where the shooting took place, well, that is across a busy road, and in fact, there's an apartment block.
Hey, Tota Gopinath, you have to put on your mic. Tota Gopinath, you have to turn off. Ah, good. Turn off your
TV.
Oh.
Turn off the TV.
Okay. Now where is that Tunga Rasa? She's gone now.
Is she?
No. There she is in the corner. Behind the flower.
I'm here, Maharaj.
Okay, I didn't see you. You were hiding behind the flower.
Yes, I'm hiding. But I'm here. I'm listening to you.
Okay.
Very nice talk.
So you're from Norway, right?
Yes, I live in Norway, yes.
And where is that little conscientious girl who is always wanting to change? The one who says, "How dare you? How dare you?" Who is that?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, this girl, yes. She's in Sweden. She's from Sweden.
Yes.
Yeah.
A neighboring country.
Yes. Scandinavia, yes.
What's her name?
Yeah. Greta Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg, yes.
Yeah.
Thunberg. Now she's a professional. She's a professional, conscientious person, right?
Now they say about her like about big actress,
She's what?
like a showman. Some says that she is posing as a big showman.
Oh, I didn't understand. I'm a little hard of hearing. Can you say, Devashis, what said?
Yeah, they say that some people say she's just all show, you know, it's just a performance.
Well, regardless, it's a good performance. At least, maybe it's a performance, but apparently she also has some convictions. She's willing to risk, censure from some people for her convictions. I don't, I'm just saying.
She has her own idea. Yes.
Yes, all right. So anyway, but Arjuna doesn't have the opportunity or the desire, or it's not within his constitutional makeup to just like start complaining about the environment. But in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, he does express his discontent. And then he even suggests that he won't fight. Of course, as I'm mentioning here, the point which I got deviated off of was that, if you're a warrior like Arjuna, you don't have the luxury of saying, "I shall not fight," and then expect that nobody else is going to disturb you. They'll immediately eliminate you. Like, I'm trying to think. In the Battle of Kurukshetra, was it that was destined to kill Dronacharya? Was it Satyavaki?
It was Dristadumna.
Dristadumna. You're sure?
Yeah, because he was the son of Drupada, that from the fire. His name means the fireborn. Drupada, Dristadumna, and Draupadi, born from the fire. Both one is a gift to Arjun, and the other to kill Dronacharya.
Okay. So in any event, they're performing their destiny. They're not actively engaged all the time in the battle, but they have some role that they will take. Anyway, does anyone else? I think I've kind of answered that question, I guess partially, of Anonymous, that we want to see the environment as favorable, but how will we be able to do that? And it's amplification of Guru Maharaj's statement that requires proper adjustment with the environment. Well, so and we're explaining that proper adjustment means that you have to adjust your attitude away from false ego and the bodily conception into a conception of devotion, to be able to see everything in relationship with the Lord. So one proper arrangement will be trying to see things from the perspective of teachings of Krishna as given in Bhagavad Gita, etc. Then one may be able to adjust one's mentality and see the environment as always favorable. Is there another question from Anonymous?
Yeah, there is actually. Yeah, just sent, which is as tomorrow's Srila Acharya Maharaj's appearance day. The question is, what will be the best way to serve, please, and satisfy Srila Acharya Maharaj?
Well, it depends where that person is living, but one good way, I think, would be to go to the temple and participate in a temple program, assuming that the temple has a program to glorify Srila Acharya Maharaj. We know that Acharya Maharaj passed away on May 10th. So from May 10th to now, today is here, what is it, the 6th?
Yeah.
Tomorrow is the 7th. May, June, July, August, September, almost 5 months, full 5 months. So how to glorify Acharya Maharaj? I would say, from my perspective, one way to start is by joining with other devotees who will jointly like to engage in glorifying Acharya Maharaj. Now, hopefully at the temples there should be some program, and that it is his divine appearance day, so then there should be some program to glorify him and satisfy him, and that can start out. I would assume that in the temples that program will be going on. I can say in Sokel the program will go on. So then, as we're doing on other days such as Vyas Puja of Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Govinda Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, you go to the temple, join with other devotees, have kirtan, glorify Acharya Maharaj. Maybe somebody will want to cook something to offer to him. Somebody can say, well, where I'm living, there's no temple, not within easy access. I have to drive out of the country out of the country, or to a different part of the country to find a temple. I can understand that. when we went to do a program in East London, I was amazed how long it took to get from East London to West London on a Sunday. We started out, and somebody lived in East London. They asked, "Can you drop me off at this place, more in the center of the city, more in the center of London?" By the time we dropped that person off and then went back to West London, 2.5 hours had passed. Does that seem fairly normal?
Yeah.
So that, and those there are 2 temples in London, and that's what within the same city. How long it takes to get from one place to another. Where we're living, there may not be a temple. Is that also? I don't know. Where, for instance, Tungaras is. I don't know if they have a temple there. I don't know where the devotees such as Mahamantra and Krishna Mohini. Does Krishna Mohini Mahamantra, do you have a temple there in a place for having, do you have a temple?
Not temple, Maharaj, but we're gathering in devotees' houses, like here or Madhuchanda Didi's house in Madrid city. And we gather for like Janmastami, but on the beach side where Ramanuja Prabhu is. In Alicante, we gather around 20 devotees for the festival. So
Okay.
like for festivals, we kind of gather together somewhere anyhow.
And will devotees be reading their offerings to Acharya Maharaj tomorrow? Or speaking offerings? Glorifying?
We're going to gather that day, and I think we will all say something. I think, yeah, why not? We should all speak. Whoever is gathered there, we will all say something.
And is there any other plans beyond the program? No Harinam. No Harinam or anything.
I'm not too sure, Maharaj. They wanted to gather to rent a house and have like a full-on festival, but because we just recently had Janmastami on the beach side, I think there is not much budget for us to rent another house. So I think we just not like a normal gathering, like kirtan, pat, and prasad.
Okay. So, anyway, at least tomorrow there's possibility to join with other devotees in glorifying Acharya Maharaj. That's a noble affair, noble effort. And then beyond that, to maintain association with persons on personal level or who also have similar beliefs as yourself. If somebody has a desire to glorify Acharya Maharaj, then also they can maintain some association with other persons who also have the same desire. Now that you can say, well, that we'll do that tomorrow in honor of his appearance. Yes, but you don't have to do that just tomorrow. You can do that other times of the day or of the week. You can meet with other devotees who have a conception that is favorable to your desire to serve. Just like that's what we would do. You know, the appearance of Govinda Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada, we would glorify a person on their day, join with other devotees of like mind, and in the future also maintain some association of persons who are not inimical, who are favorable. And that would be nice, I think, in that way. Then, of course, if you think of some way you can develop a service relationship, that's also good. Right now, things are in a state of flux. We don't know what the what's going to happen in the future. We cannot say exactly, because there seems to be a lot of polemics going on in India, a lot of fighting. So maybe we might have to wait for things to calm down a little bit for us to see how things can be, what we can do. I mean, right now, of course, you can't, as far as I understand, you can't go to India on a tourist visa. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think just people of Indian origin can go at the moment.
Or people maybe who have a business visa, right?
Well, yeah, that as well.
So, anyway. Was that a question from a different anonymous or the same anonymous?
The same, as far as I know.
Rasaraj.
Yes, Maharaj.
You're in New York. Are there any plans for New York?
Not really. Many of the people are working tomorrow. Another is a disciple of Srila Maharaj. She had to go have a doctor appointment tomorrow. So right now I don't have any specific plans to celebrate the appearance.
Do you ever see Anatta Bandhu?
Anatta Bandhu, I didn't see him, but they normally have meetings on Saturdays. We try to join to make a bigger group, but we didn't hear from him yet.
Where are you staying? In Bronx?
No, I am living in Long Island.
Oh, in Long
Island. They met in Brooklyn.
There's what?
They met in, I think it's in Brooklyn or in the Bronx, but they met in an apartment. So in order to go there, I had to drive and then take a subway, probably like an hour and a half, but they met on Saturdays. Okay. And I believe that all of them work. So I'm not sure if they will have any program for tomorrow. Maybe they will do something on the weekend.
Yeah, when I met with them, we met in Queens. And there was a temple there, which was where they had a deity of Prabhupada.
Maybe Krishna Balaram Mandir in Richmond Hill. It's a small temple.
Is that in Queens?
Yes.
Maybe. We all went there. There were a lot of people dancing. Mostly these people who were dancing, they were all from Guyana.
Yeah, that should be that one. That area, many people from Guyana, they lived over there.
Oh. But anyway, wherever there's temples, maybe the temple will have some program for Acharya Maharaj. I'm just going to put something on here.
Oh dear. Maharaj, just as a follow-up to that, Anonymous has just asked, do you know any favorite dish of Acharya Maharaj?
I don't, but maybe by consulting with some of his disciples, Anonymous can find out. When I went with Acharya Maharaj to Eka Chakra one time, we got there and he just ate begum bhaja and rice, and he didn't even eat vegetable. That was, of course, at that time, he wasn't aware of having diabetes, which he later found out about. But he was eating mostly rice and some fried vegetables, some fried eggplant. And he was relishing that. But I don't know about maybe Maha Mantra, or maybe also Maha Mantra. You were sometimes around Acharya Maharaj. Did you notice any favorite dishes of his?
He loved paneer ras, but I heard in his later years he changed paneer with tofu. So like a normal, like I say palak tofu, palak paneer kind of thing. That's and I did saw him many times to have that dish only, just that. I don't remember if it's rice or plain or just bread, but just the red subject with chunks of tofu or paneer. I believe 200% he loved that.
What is that red sabji?
Tomato with little potato with green peas and chunks of paneer or tofu, Maharaj, like palak paneer kind of thing. But candy, I remember like
paneer.
Yeah, matar paneer.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Matar paneer, not palak.
That's green.
Yeah. No, I palak is green, right?
Huh?
I think the palak is the green. I was saying palak, but Prabhu Devashis said matar paneer. I think it's matar paneer, the one.
Yeah, what is palak?
Palak is with spinach, I think.
What?
Palak is spinach.
Spinach.
Pitipua, Maharaj. Pitipua is a small things in the green one. We call it in Spanish pitipua. But I don't know.
It's what?
Es otra cosa, Bhagavan.
Antes.
Está diciendo que es que
El matar paneer viene con pitipua. Matar paneer de pitipua.
¿Viene con qué?
Pitipua.
Guisantes.
Guisante, Maharaj, guisante.
Oh, guisante.
Lakshmi Kanti Didi once
Peace.
she posed and she shared like a list of preparations Srila Maharaj liked very much. I don't have it, but I did read it, and there were like around 12 to 15 preparations there. Around the year she shared it. It must be on her Facebook, I think. Lakshmi Kanti shared that.
Does anyone have that list? I'd like to see it.
I will try to find it on her Facebook, Maharaj. Give me a second.
Okay.
Well, he used to eat it in a very simple way. Rice and dal, something.
I remember Sagar Maharaj, he used to always eat paneer. And I'm not so much of a fan of paneer. Ramachandra here, he's also a big fan of paneer. But tofu I like.
But that matar paneer is very nice. If you eat it in an Indian style, how Indian ladies like it, it's a real nice one. I tried it in India.
Well, whatever the paneer was, I still prefer tofu to paneer.
Yeah. Tofu is much better.
Too many years in China, maybe, or not. Actually, it wasn't years in China. It was just.
Yeah, but then in India, you don't find tofu everywhere. You find paneer everywhere, but tofu you don't find tofu there.
You find tofu pretty much everywhere, don't you?
Yeah.
Any supermarket has tofu. But anyway, if we get a list of what Acharya Maharaj likes, then we can answer Anonymous's question better.
Here is the list.
Posted then.
We always used to put two green mangoes in the dal.
Dandavan Maharaj, I found the PDF file and the list. I'm gonna try to put them on the chat.
Okay, who's speaking?
Falguni, Mahamantra, I just found it.
Nice. I was struggling.
Yeah, I will see how to share it from the phone. 1 second.
Yeah, you could just copy it and put it into the chat. Tota Gopinath, where are you? No sound.
In the UK, in Gloucestershire, in England.
I was in Gloucestershire.
Gloucestershire. I saw you the last time when you came.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember what we talked about.
But I never went to Gloucestershire.
No, you didn't come into Gloucestershire, but you came to the temple, Hatton Cross.
Okay.
And I saw you there, and then we talked about the emerald that your dad gave you. Remember?
Oh no, yeah, but it's not an emerald. It's jade.
Yeah. And then you say it was jade.
Yeah.
And then I saw you a long time ago when you came to Venezuela, when Srila Govinda Maharaj went there.
Eso es lo que te iba a preguntar. Tú eres de Venezuela.
Sí.
De Caracas.
Discípulo de Srila Govinda Maharaj.
Sí, ¿de dónde? ¿De Caracas?
De Valencia, Venezuela.
Ok, de Valencia.
Pero vivía en el templo también, cuando Srila Govinda Maharaj yo vivía en el templo, en la parte de arriba.
Ok, nice.
En Bellomonte.
En Bellomonte, ok.
En la quinta, las ranas.
¿El templo original de Bellomonte?
Sí.
¿En las ranas?
En la casa de Harikirtan, ¿no?
Oh, es en la calle Orinoco.
Sí. Esos tiempos, ¿no? Those days,
antes de estar en Orinoco, estaban en el templo de Chaguaramos.
Sí. And then Srila Govinda Maharaj initiates so many devotees in there.
Yeah, hundreds,
so many people.
So many devotees, was hundreds of devotees.
But
I saw more devotees in Caracas than I saw anywhere else.
Yes. Srila Govinda Maharaj he was very merciful to the devotees in Venezuela.
Yeah, I saw there was one festival I was at for the installation of the deities. There were about 400 devotees there that time. And outside of India, I've never seen that many devotees at one place.
Yeah, I was there, Maharaj. I was there,
Yeah.
I was there. So Govinda Maharaj gave me the brahmacharya as well.
Are you married now?
Yes. Those days, Maharaj. It was very good.
Go ahead. Yeah, when I was in ISKCON, I was a sannyasi, and in those days, the brahmacharis and sannyasis used to be pretty. They used to be pretty, what we would call now male chauvinistic, pretty male chauvinistic. So.
Yes.
Well, then I made a remark to make like fun of that. I made a remark to Srila Prabhupada about this. I said, why did the young brahmachari make the deity of Sakshi Gopal walk so far, all the way to Vidyanagar in South India, just so he could get married? I like it changed, like distorted the story. I mean, then I said to Srila Prabhupada, so like making fun of the male chauvinism of the devotees, I said, isn't it actually just a second-class man who would get married? And then Prabhupada said, we're not against marriage. And I said, yes, but why that brahmachari made the deity walk so many, maybe 1,000 miles just so he could get married, which is distorting the story, of course. So Prabhupada went along with the joke. He said, just see this sannyasi. Because no woman would no woman would accept him. He says that they're all sour, like the wolf that's trying to jump for the grapes but cannot reach them, and then says that they're all sour. Como el lobo que está tratando de soltar para las uvas, pero no las puede alcanzar, y dice, bueno, todos son amargos. Prabhupada says, so no woman would have him, so now he says nobody should get married. This kind, which was really funny, because that's what I was kind of making fun of some of the devotees, that the way they were acting.
Andaba Maharaj, disculpe, Falguni puso ahorita en el chat un documento donde están las recetas que a Silacharya Deva le gustaba más, hecho por su Devi, que le cocinaba a él. Y esto lo hizo Sadhu Maharaj. Entonces, bueno, muy reciente y muy fe, y tiene las recetas incluso de cómo ella lo preparaba para él.
What's this in here?
It's all in Spanish.
No, it's
Sorry about that, Prabhu. I got all the information in Spanish. I can ask Sadhu Maharaj. They probably have it in English as well, but I don't know if he sent it today.
We have it in English, don't worry. We have it.
Okay, good.
I found it.
Okay, Falguni to everyone. You can always get this translated, because there's always at least one Venezuelan devotee in every temple.
We have it in English, Maharaj, don't worry.
Well, even if you don't, you have Venezuelan devotees.
Yeah, I think my wife knows somebody from Venezuela.
Yeah, your wife knows somebody from Venezuela. Yeah. And then that's one of the things, since the time of the present, since the time of 10 years ago or something, there are Venezuelans now living in they've gone everywhere, you know. Recently, when they're trying to send some people to the moon, they also found that there were Venezuelans there.
With the aliens, Maharaj.
What?
They live in different universe.
They're become aliens. That's what we also say that.
Yeah, the situations the situation is very bad in Venezuela. So yeah, it's just
Oh, well, it's
people-
been like that. It's been like that forever in Mexico also. You know, there's so many people from Mexico in America.
Yeah.
They say, so somebody said, why doesn't Mexico ever do good on the Olympics? And they said, because anybody who could run, swim, or jump has already left Mexico. Por eso dicen que México nunca hace bien en los Olímpicos porque cualquiera que puede nadar o saltar o correr ya ha salido de México. And it's kind of true, but Mexico does good in individual sports like boxing. They're very good at it. That's something that in the United States people could learn from them, because Guru Maharaj has always said that don't blame the environment. So Mexico people, the environment is never, just like Venezuela, the environment many times has not been favorable, but the people have adapted to it. But many of the people in other countries, for instance, the people in the United States, many of them are like what we would call sheeple. Sheeple. You know what sheeple is? Sheeple is like a cross between sheep and people. They're sheeple. They believe whatever they read in the newspaper or whatever they hear on television. Whatever the politicians say to them, they believe. That's true of Americans. Many people, they'll believe that. People in Mexico, they won't believe whatever they're told. They won't believe what the government tells them. They won't believe what the newspapers tells them. And they don't expect to get anything free from the environment. So in that sense, they've adapted to the environment better than Americans. That's just my own opinion.
Yeah.
And now you see many people from Venezuela. We have them living here in our ashram. They're all over in all the cities of the United States. They're in England. They're in so many countries because they've. That's what I said before. Every cloud has a silver lining. So I would say in some countries where the countries are not so good, it has a silver lining that the people learn to think for themselves and to be able to se vuelven capaces de luchar o pelear para sí mismo. No necesitan que recibir limosna del medio ambiente. So every cloud has a silver lining. Cada nube tiene su ¿cómo se dice? How do you say silver lining? Maha mantra.
Maharaj, I never heard that expression. Silver lining. I don't know. I don't know the
All right. It means even in bad situations, there's some good that comes from it. No,
never heard that.
Well, hay un dicho, no, que no hay mal que por bien no hay un mal que
por bien no venga.
Porque no tiene bien por conocer, o algo así, no sé.
No hay mal que por bien no venga.
Yeah. So sometimes we have to learn to adjust to the environment. Anyone have a question? We've heard from Anonymous. Falguni, you've been very quiet. Gaurachandra está muy silencioso.
Dandava Maharaj, Dandava devotees.
Dandavanananta Govinda.
Maharaj, hay otro dicho que también dice, más vale malo conocido que bueno por conocer.
Sí. Bueno, en México estamos muy familiarizados con eso. ¿Cómo es el dicho otra vez?
Más vale malo conocido que bueno por conocer, porque uno piensa que va a conocer a la tapa de la pesicola y resulta que después es un fraude.
Sí. O dicen, más vale el mal conocido que el bien por conocer, ¿no? Yeah.
That's not a good one, Maharaj. I don't like that one.
What?
I don't like that one. That's not a good one.
It is a good one. It is a good one.
Yeah, I prefer to know a new person that you don't know.
It's-
If you know someone is bad, what are you gonna maintain the relationship with that person? I prefer
No,
to-
yeah, what it means is you have something that's bad and you're thinking that something else is very good and it will be very good. But it turns out you're not understanding things because you're sometimes thinking that what you don't have is good and what you have is bad. And it's not always like that. It's not always like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, sometimes you have to take a risk. Sometimes.
Somebody that seems very common nowadays. People get married, then they get divorced, then they get married again, and this way they become 2-time and 3-time losers. By that I mean they wind up paying money to everybody. But I'm being a little, maybe.
I want to thank you and Anonymous for these questions about the environment because they are very applicable to the daily life. I was wondering, Devashish, where or when can I find this class posted? Because I would love to share it, especially this answer to people that I know, and I would love to hear it again.
All of these talks are posted on Bhakti Connect.
Okay.
Within a few days.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
But there is a good question about Acharya Mars. So tomorrow, at least in our temples, we'll be having program for Acharya Mars's appearance date. Now, some people have asked me, are you going to broadcast this on Zoom? And I don't know, it's a little difficult to broadcast things on Zoom because on Zoom you have opportunity for people to interact and you can't necessarily, you're seeing like here, I can see in speaker view or I can see in gallery view, but we want to be able to focus on the program that's going on in the temple. So that I can do in Facebook, and then I put it, or if I have I don't usually put the temple lectures and programs like for Acharya Maharaj or for Govinda Maharaj, etc. They stay on Facebook. I don't usually put them on YouTube. On YouTube, I have called, what do I have? What is it called? It's called Morning Seva Ashram readings. Then I'm reading from Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita, etc. And I can put them, first I record them on Facebook, then I put them on YouTube. But when we do the program, like we did a program for Acharya Maharaj, we did it in Zoom. It becomes a little harder to do in Zoom because Zoom is more made for people asking questions and having interchange. But on a program like going on in the temple for Appearance Day. That it's, I don't know. What do you think? It's not so much for a Zoom format.
Not really, no.
Maharaj, have you used ever YouTube Live?
What?
Have you ever used YouTube on the live form? I don't know if that is how you record the classes.
No, I record the classes on live on Facebook. Then I download them and put them on YouTube.
Well, YouTube has a function to go live, and we have used sometimes because it's only one way. It's not a forum in regards of receiving interaction from the people. It's just people can see if they have the link, but you don't even have to allow comments if you don't like. I don't know. It's a suggestion.
¿Qué es esto? ¿El almuerzo?
Yes, sir.
Tan temprano.
Ya entró la ofrenda.
Sí. Antes no salía la ofrenda hasta la 1 y ya está saliendo a las 12:15.
Sí, entró ya.
Ah.
Porque como comencé a...
Ah, ok, sí. Tú cocinaste, ¿no?
Yes.
This is Madhumita. Do you know her?
Yes.
Hey, Dandavas!
Like I said, there are Venezuelans everywhere.
Yeah.
Madhumita's from Venezuela. From where in Venezuela?
Maracaibo. I met him when he was little.
Maracaibo. She met Mahamantra when he was little.
Yes, I always remember her.
Haribol. Sweet.
They say that 6 million people from Venezuela, they left the country already.
Well,
6
maybe,
and probably 7 at the end of the year. So it's a lot of Venezuelan people around.
we have many Venezuelans here in Soquel, in California. And Soquel is small, and we have maybe 100,000 people. Gracias. And we have here Kalindi and her daughter Vaidehi, Madhumita. We have Rinda. We have her brother Sakicharan. We have also Vaishnavi, and that's 6. There's some more too, I think. Who else? I don't know. And some other persons. Anyway. So then Falguni got the answer to her question that that where she can find the recordings of this on that Bhakti Connect. And I'll see about doing a program either in Zoom, but at least it depends if I can get Murli Mohan here to help me stream it. Then maybe we can do it on Facebook and on Zoom. It depends on if he will come tomorrow, because he's the only one who knows technically how to do that, to have it streaming on Facebook and on Zoom at the same time. Or maybe I can get Chinmoy Dave to help with that. Anyway, I think for now it's 12:20. Kind of will finish here. There's no other questions?
I don't have any more questions for you, Mark.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone else does.
And if you want
your
to...
prasadam just arrived, so we wouldn't want to keep you from your prasadam, that it'll be cold.
Anyway, I'll give here our Facebook page, and then let me see if I can find our Facebook page. How do we? Let's see. Sri Chiyanyasa. Okay, here, I guess this I'm gonna put here. What is our? This is our two in the chat. I will put here our. It's, if you just go into Facebook and then you type in Seva Ashram altogether, then you should be able to see us. And you'll be able to watch any program. We're going to start about 10:30. Now I say 10:30, but I'm always late. But 10:30 we'll start tomorrow morning. That's same time as your program here. It starts at 6:30 in the evening for you. Now that's why I'm saying I don't think it's so good to just do everything by Zoom, because people want to celebrate Acharya Maharaj's appearance day in the morning. They don't want to celebrate at 6 necessarily at 6:30 at night. They want to be, by that time they want to be taking their prasadam or something. So, but if you want to join with us tomorrow, it'll be 10, but it won't be till 6:30 at night for you. So I would say maybe it's better to go to the West or East London Temple. Maybe they'll have some program there.
I think West London's still closed at the moment because of the COVID outbreak there.
Yeah, some of our devotees here have COVID too.
But we're all COVID-free at Green Street at the moment, so come along if you like.
Okay, so maybe people can go there to celebrate Acharya Maharaj's appearance. Now, next Wednesday, I'm going to be traveling. Not by my choice, but I will be traveling anyway. They bought me a ticket to go to next Wednesday. I'm flying to Guadalajara.
Okay.
And from there to Veracruz. So if you want to have a program next week, maybe we can do it on Tuesday. Because you could say, well, you could do it from Guadalajara, but I don't know how good the internet is in Guadalajara. We'll see.
Right.
But Tuesday I'll still be here. So we'll talk, and maybe we'll do a program at this time on Tuesday. Right?
Okay, let's see. What that date is that? Is that the 12th? 12th, yeah.
Yeah, well, is it the 12th? Today is the 6th, so that'll be the 5th. Yeah, 5th and 7th, yeah, 12th. Okay. So my dandavats to all of you.
Hello, Maharaj.
Jai Maharaj.
I hope everyone.
Dandavats Maharaj.
Dandavats Maharaj.
Lavanya, where are you?
I'm in West Temple. I've just been running around, so I didn't put the camera on because I'm just moving around, tidying and cleaning.
But I thought your temple was closed because of COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I live in the temple, Maharaj, so I'm here with the COVID. But it's okay. It's lessening now. Anjali went home today. It was her 10-day. and Sashi will go to Panditas tomorrow, and then we've just got 2 more, Vishnu and Gaunarayan.
And
then
how
we're
is,
all, sorry.
how is Saraswati?
She's fine. She's 3 days after that. She's on day 13, so she's okay. It takes like a week to get your strength back, you know, afterwards, because it's a bit heavy, but she's doing all right. She's getting there.
Have you had it?
Yeah, I had it in July. So was fortunate because my antibodies were, I was surprised how I didn't get it, because I was, at first, all 3 of them were down, and it was just like completely like a circus. And I was just going in everyone's, I mean, I stayed in the room with Angeli the whole time, because one night she fell in the night, and so I had to stay with her. And my glands felt a bit swollen one day, but I didn't get it. So I was really pleased about that. The suffering was worth it.
Okay. Well, I hear Brenda has it now.
Yeah.
But she and also her boyfriend, who also has it, they're both fully vaccinated.
Oh, exactly. Like Gaunarayan was vaccinated, and he still got it.
Who's got it?
Gaunarayan Prabhu here, he was vaccinated with the Johnson vaccine, the 1-shot one, and he still got it, like full on. Not like a little bit, but full on. So who's to tell what will happen? Can happen, you know?
Yeah, so I didn't want to travel, because even though I'm fully vaccinated, other people who are vaccinated got it.
Yeah.
If I get it, because I have lung problems, if I get it, I may have to look for wooden pajamas.
No, Maharaj, you'd be fine. The Delta variant doesn't really go to the lungs so bad, you know? The new one
No?
that's around. No. Anyway, good ever with you.
It just turns you into a vegetable.
Yeah.
All right, my dandavats to everyone.
Jai. Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai. Dandavat to all the devotees.
Dandavat Maharaj.
Oh, there's Subhasini. When did you join us?
Well, I joined about 1 hour ago, Maharaj.
Oh, okay, nice.
Good to hear you, Maharaj. Yeah, nice to see you too. Yeah.
Dandavat.
And that's Maharaj.